Hey everybody, this is TMG Podcast, E3 2015, a special episode. This time we're taking care of Sony, one of the big ones. And boy, did they throw a lot in our faces.
Big one. I think this was probably one of their best conferences ever.
You think?
It's up there. It's definitely up there.
Yeah, it's not Ridge Racer up there, or down there.
Well, I mean, Ridge Racer was good for all the wrong reasons, you know.
Yeah. This is a podcast about everything gaming. We're talking about the E3 press conferences. It's a very special episode. There's a audio podcast per press conference. Right now, we're covering Sony, and this is Carlos, and with me is Will.
Hello.
And Miggy.
Hi.
And yeah, it's one of the best, and it was a crap load that they announced. It was actually, I think, a lot of man tears, poured when that thing ended.
For happy reasons, though.
Sony knows how to play with your feelings.
Yeah.
You know?
I know. They know how to crush it, revive it, pat you in the back. They know how to do everything just to make you feel happy.
They have some good market
special
research, Like, they know how to hit it home hard.
But I have a reason why, though. But yeah, let's do a quick rundown before we start. 23 press conference. It's the third one. Wait, 1, 2, 3. It's the fourth press conference when E3 started. And when they started the press conference, they started with a bang. I never thought I'd hear this or say this again, but The Last Guardian was actually shown. That's a big surprise. Right after that, we got a new IP from Guerrilla Games. They're not doing Killzone anymore. They're doing something called Horizon Zero Dawn. Pretty awesome stuff. Right after that, another announcement, another big announcement. A new Hitman game with the bald guy. Right after that, Street Fighter V. We got 2 new characters announced and a beta that was also announced. Right after Street Fighter V, we got No Man's Sky. Then we got a game from Media Molecule. They're not doing Little Big Planet anymore. They're doing a game called Dreams. Right after that, we also got confirmation we're getting Firewatch for PlayStation. And after that, we got Destiny. Destiny, The Taken King is the next expansion in September, and it'll eat your wallet whole. Right after that, we got Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Then another big one, which I think everybody that is the 90s kids, I think, cried, slowly cried. Final Fantasy VII is definitely going to be remade for the PS4. And then just to continue to keep the pores going, Shenmue 3 was also announced, but this time for like a Kickstarter style. And then right after that, I don't know why, but Batman Arkham Knight is out today as we're recording this. But they did show it though in E3, even though it's like a week after. Project Morpheus makes a small little mention. And right after that, we got some Call of Duty Black Ops 3. And right after that, they also mentioned that they actually showed Call of Duty Black Ops 3, showing that Call of Duty, or rather Activision, kind of left the other building. Right after that, we got some Star Wars Disney Infinity, and then some Star Wars Battlefront, and to end the whole press conference, Uncharted 4 gameplay. And I think I missed one. Right before the Final Fantasy VII Remake, they announced World of Final Fantasy, which is we'll get around to that later. But yeah, that's quite a lot.
And not just a lot of big news also. Like it's practically a gamer's wet dream in a lot of ways.
Oh, and they also talk about PlayStation Vue. I forgot to mention. Apparently my lineup or my list is apparently wrong. But yeah, let's go straight to it because we have a lot to cover. First one What's the guy's name who came up in the press conference?
It was the suit from the Powers part last year.
Layden, something Layden.
Besides him, he has a beard now.
Yeah, he comes up, does the introduction and shows a trailer of The Last Guardian.
Yeah, he just goes straight into it. Like, we know you're all excited, but we gotta show this now.
They finally showed it after how many years? Like, when was the last time we saw this? In 2009, I think?
Something like that.
Was it 2009? It's like...
It felt
PS4
much closer.
wasn't even a thought. PS4 wasn't even a thought, and this game was like,
It was. I think I remember it was sort of announced early in the life cycle of the PS3, and then just disappeared. Mm-hmm. And then it sort of became, people started joking about it and everything, and now it's finally back.
And we didn't get a trailer. It wasn't a live demo. I think it was a video.
It was a recorded
video, demo. Yeah. But they did have it on the show floor after. And they demoed the section right before the one they showed at the press conference. You were basically feeding barrels to the Griffin thing.
Yeah.
So it's an actual game then. Yeah. It's an actual game. If it actually hit the shade floor.
What did you guys think of the gameplay though? It's still...
It looks like Shadow of the Colossus and Eco fused together.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't think the graphics
that's a given. I don't know really, to be honest, what the gameplay is.
The graphics look the same as it did before, but probably cleaner because it's on the PS4.
Yeah, like the fur effects on the dog thing,
like everything was moving.
No, but it still looked a little off, in a weird sort of way.
It's an art decision.
I honestly don't know what to say about this game. I was kind of excited because I was excited for The Last Guardian because it was the makers or the developers from Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. Those are amazing games. If no one knows what it is, Google it and find a way to play it.
And they even had the director in the audience. Remember, they called him out.
Yeah.
And then as he stood up, I heard someone say, "I love you, man." In the background.
No, the guy if you notice, the guy behind him just like tapped his shoulder and asked to shake his hand.
Oh yeah, man, I saw that.
Just for the sake of it, because oh my god, it's the guy who makes the game that doesn't exist.
He wet himself so hard.
No, but from what I understood, that guy actually doesn't actually work in Sony anymore. He's just hanging around.
Yeah, he left like how many years ago and was
to finish The Last Guardian.
Yeah, that's one of the I think that's during that's what pretty much started the first rumor that The Last Guardian is cancelled because the creator actually left or something, and then they're not questioning Sony if the developer team is actually it's still intact, and then Sony says yes, it's still intact and all that. But yeah, going back on the demo that was shown in the E3 stage. I don't know yet. I'm excited that it's there, but it's still. I hope they just feed us now information about the game at this point, because we've seen it.
Yeah,
it's not really a big change.
We got
playable.
We got a release date also, somewhat.
No, we got a window. It's like gonna come out next year.
A release window, next year. Now, whether or not they're gonna hold to that date remains to be seen.
No. At this point, they have to. They can't drag that out anymore.
I
hope they do. I hope they just release it and make it a Duke Nukem kind of.
My big worry though is if because the game was designed originally how many years ago? Is that sort of gameplay still?
Oh yeah.
Okay, did it age? Okay, did it age well, or have other games already gone and done what they were trying to do?
No, it'll probably appeal to people who have been waiting for this, but as for newcomers, they have to do something really big.
No, which is why I'm hoping that they would dump a crap load of information about this game, just like how Bethesda threw all the damn information about Fallout 4 in a small amount of time. Because as much as it's coming out next year, 2016, marketing has a lot to work. They have a lot to do. Because this game is they're reviving a series that no one knows about anymore. They have to introduce it to the kids, to the people who are not familiar with the Eco or Shadow of Colossus. It's a lot of work. So hopefully they throw a lot of information about this game. They're not gonna be shy about talking about The Last Guardian, because if it's really gonna come out, they need to be all on it actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, Last Guardian's out.
The Last Guardian is a real thing. It is not a myth.
It's alive.
And I remember the other Migs was predicting they would announce canceling.
And there's a video that came out of that. Somebody made a video.
Someone made a video.
It shows like a Windows desktop with a folder called The Last Guardian. Then he opens it up and then shift deletes all the files inside.
Yeah, because Migs from News and Cubes, when we were doing the prediction show before E3, he did the Sony, and he announced that the creator shows. I think was it the creator that shows up and he just says, "The Last Guardian is going to be cancelled." That didn't happen apparently. It's the complete opposite. But yeah, awesome, cool. Last Guardian, yeah, everybody's excited. But this next one though, it's a new IP from Guerrilla Games, the makers of Killzone. I'm super excited about this because there's a lot I like about this one. Here, Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about this?
I thought it was Heavenly Sword first.
Actually,
I saw the characters.
The girl looks like it's a redhead kind of cave woman looking girl, right?
Actually, yeah. my first instinct was actually that game that was announced by Ninja Theory, the one, the Hell something.
Yeah, that's the one. I thought it was the sequel to Heaven's Sword.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so apparently we were all wrong. It was just a completely new IP.
And then, like, she was talking about hunting these beasts. Then we actually see that they're robot dinosaurs.
Yeah, that's why I was explaining. Like, I feel like that game was like over a game of Smash Up, and then they just sort of got, hey, cave babes versus robo dinos. Let's make a game like that.
Because Jurassic Park's a thing again.
It's true.
Let's take it to the next level.
But the gameplay looked like it took a lot of cues from Uncharted and Tomb Raider.
Yeah, it looks like a modern third-person shooter instead of Killzone, which is always an FPS.
You know what?
I hope they increase the scale of like the things you fight, because that's kind of a big scale already in what you have to like go against. You're going against a huge creature with a bow and arrow. You know what I mean? And then you can see her sliding under the creature to shoot specific spots. Like, it's a pretty interesting gameplay. I'm actually pretty curious about it.
You know what vibe I got off that game? I got the vibe of what is that game called? Enslaved: Odyssey to the West.
Oh yeah.
It felt like that.
Oh, that's actually a good comparison. Yeah. It's just there's like a female protagonist. I guess it's post-apocalyptic if you can think about it, just like how it was, like how they were narrating the so-called story. I think this is one of the most exciting ones for me, as much as like aside from the megatons, like the obvious really big ones. This one's I think the most like, wow, this is actually, I'm actually looking forward to actually playing this IP. And was it available in the show floor? I don't think so. I think they just showed it.
I haven't heard anything about Horizon yet, so maybe not.
But it was gorgeous, though. It was very much.
It looked really nice.
But it's funny, the dinosaurs, mech dinosaurs. Okay.
That's really an interesting idea, though. Like, I really like the creativity that went into thinking, hey, let's make robot dinosaurs, and they're fighting cave people in the future.
Yeah, like it's so
once you get a big, yeah.
I want to know, like,
a bad taste in your mouth, though.
I want to know how the lore works out, because the characters talked about, like, oh, we gotta hunt these things to survive, but then they hunt robots, and like, how do you consume a robot?
No, but did you notice, like, in the CG parts of it, like she was fashioning an arrow, and like there was sort of like
different types of arrows,
like an old warhead on the tip of it and stuff. Like, so maybe they use the robots for
parts,
for gear.
Yeah, and I think she got like a bag of liquid from it.
Yeah, that bag of liquid.
So
has
that might be
something.
To do with it. And apparently it's implied that these robots are wild. Because remember, they ran away from something at the beginning, and she hunted like that T-Rex thing.
It's like a rogue AI or something, right? Or something.
So,
probably self-replicating.
When they say wild, that means there are some that can be tamed, in a sense, maybe?
Probably. I assume you'd be able to ride something.
Probably, yeah.
But thank God that Guerrilla Games is doing something new. Like, they're hanging Killzone, the franchise, like, on the corner for now, like, to let it, calm down. Let it recollect its thoughts, because I didn't quite like the last Killzone game, so continue doing something different.
I am glad to see also they're not doing Killzone anymore. I guess after, what was the last one? Shadowfalls?
Shadowfall, yeah. That campaign was fucking horrid. It wasn't so good at all.
But I think Killzone sort of run its course for the moment. They need to let that IP kind of rest and explore other stuff. Excuse me.
Moving on. Next up is, this was actually a surprise. They actually announced a new Hitman. And
was it really a surprise? Because we knew that they were working on a new Hitman.
No, I didn't know
a while
they were
now.
working on a new Hitman. I didn't know they were working on a new Hitman. I thought they... Actually, I wasn't quite aware of what's going on with Square Enix and Hitman. And all of a sudden...
Yeah,
all I knew was the movie is coming out.
Yeah, I mentioned it when we were bashing on Absolution. But I guess this is the first time we're actually seeing it in action. And it looks like Hitman.
Is it gonna? Do you think they're gonna? Because you're saying that Absolution was horrible. That was the last game.
It wasn't horrible, but it was.
No, Miggy said it was horrible.
Dude, it's not Hitman. Absolution is not Hitman.
Or that's even worse, saying that's not the game. That Hitman game is not Hitman. But IO Interactive saying it's the most ambitious title yet. I don't know, but. I don't know. I'm not too. Well, you, Miggy, what do you think? Is it about time we get a new Hitman? Because I'm not too fond of the franchise in itself.
No, I mean like Hitman is, I guess, its own thing. You know, like the sandbox, kill this guy in whatever way you want.
Yeah.
Because like this one looks like an older Hitman game, like Blood Money and all that. While Absolution was a very follow this corridor and do your adventure and watch these cutscenes kind of game.
No, that's true. That's true. But in and of itself, I didn't feel it was a terrible game. But that's coming from someone who doesn't...
Yeah, it's not a terrible game. It's a terrible Hitman game, is what I'm saying.
I've only played, I think, Hitman 2 and Absolution and the last one, Blood Money. So I'm missing out on a few. But yeah, for me, it wasn't great. It wasn't bad. It was okay. But for sure, it definitely wasn't the same as the older games. So hopefully this one goes back to form.
Yeah. Going off what they said and how it looks like it will be, you know, as a real sequel to say Blood Money and older Hitmans. And they announced they said that there's sort of a weird rumor of it being like early access for consoles, or at the very least episodic. Because
really?
They said that they'll release the game incomplete, and then we'll take in feedback from players and all that, and work on it as they go on.
That's dumb. I don't like that. I really don't like that. I really don't like early access to be in.
Was it at this conference or the Square conference where they discussed like they had this whole new system where they would be continuously developing the game?
It might have been the Square one where they mentioned the kills that will be, if you miss them the first time, they're gone forever.
Yeah.
That sounds like some free-to-play event nonsense. Like, I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see.
But for those who are like very excited or are huge fans of Hitman, the franchise, we're getting a new one. And of course, them being in the Sony press conference, you guys are gonna get exclusive, pre-order bonus or whatnot content. The usual shebang. When it comes to exclusivity. Right after, we got some Street Fighter 5.
Oh, man.
Street Fighter, Cammy, and Birdie.
They look so good.
It looks so good.
It does look good. I'm very happy to see Birdie is back. We haven't seen him since Alpha.
His design looks amazing.
Yeah, and I saw his idle animation where he picks his nose and flicks the booger.
And it does damage.
It does damage. His booger does damage. It's a fucking amazing.
Have you seen the fights, the fucking demos with the pro fighters for the fight?
Yes,
I
have.
Birdie has a move where he consumes something, and he
has he chugs actually. Yeah,
he chugs different things, and they give different buffs. Like, he can eat a banana, and he'll throw the banana peel, and you can slip on the banana peel. Or, he drinks soda, and he'll roll the can on the floor and trip you. It's really neat. This might be my guy.
And Cammy's just like any other Cammy. But her speed, her spiral, whatever, it seems like it goes through in certain properties.
Oh yeah, when she activates her like V trigger EX mode, it'll do more hits and she drills through them.
Yeah, I don't want to be super technical. Not everybody knows what we're talking about, but Street Fighter V looks amazing right now. And when I say technical, they're throwing a lot of interesting mechanics. They're mixing up together. And for those who have played SF4 and all that, it's gonna feel like a really different game just by reading on what people have been saying about the game.
This really looks like the Street Fighter 4 version of Third Strike. You know, where it's a little slower, but way more offensive and aggressive, which is, what I've been waiting for.
No, and just like was that like the game before 4 was Third Strike, right? And the difference between those two games there's a big difference in terms of mechanics and all that. You can agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
This one, they're keeping that tradition alive.
Yeah,
there's no more
it's all
focus,
new.
There's no more was that. It feels completely foreign to anybody who has played SF4 or even Alpha. Like it's a new beast.
You notice that everything is called with the letter V because Street Fighter 5.
For 5, right? Yeah, V
because
trigger
Capcom's
and everything.
so witty.
And they changed the super to critical arts and all that.
Whatever.
Rebranding of supers.
Did they make any mention of how many characters will be in the initial roster? Or
No, they haven't.
I don't remember any mention of that. Yeah.
But what we got, aside from the two new characters that was announced during the Sony press conference, we also got confirmation that we're gonna get a beta that will kick off in July for the PS4
this year.
It's for next month. So that alone, knowing that we're gonna have a beta, means that by 2016 we might just get SF5, and this might be the last year for SF4.
Probably.
In terms of terminal competitive.
Probably. No, I'm pretty sure Street Fighter 4 there'll still be side matches for Street Fighter 4.
No, side matches, yeah, for sure, but
in the official scene, it'll be replaced by 5.
It'll definitely be replaced by 5, absolutely.
With regards to how many characters, I think Capcom mentioned again that they wanted this to be how KI is now, where it's just the one game.
And
but they constantly update it. Yeah, it's going to be that. Which they tried to do with 4, remember?
Well, they did.
It sort of happened with Super, where if you have Super, you can just buy the upgrades digitally.
Yes, but I don't think... Yeah, right, exactly.
So they're trying to make that with 5, just the one game, and then, update.
Okay.
I'm okay with the update as long as they tone down with the prices. They just be reasonable with the prices. It's fine.
I think that's okay also. I you know how there's that running joke that Capcom doesn't know how to count properly, and they keep making
they use a lot of words.
A lot of words like Ultra, Super, Alpha, EX version, whatever.
So many prefixes.
So
they love them prefixes.
Yeah, because actually, if you're a total newcomer to Street Fighter and then you wanted to get in on it, and then people's like, "Oh, you got to get Ultra Street Fighter 4." Oh, why is it Ultra? And then, you got to explain that there was Arcade Edition, Super, and whatever. So just having it called Street Fighter 5 and then there be viable seasons, I think that's the perfect way to go about it.
Yeah. Well, Street Fighter 5 is looking very good. Moving on, right after that, we got a game that's another confusing game. No Man's Sky.
Yeah, they showed more space combat, but we still don't know what this game is.
It's an exploration game. You go from you can go from space, go to a planet, go underwater. And all of that is seamless. You can just do it whenever, wherever, and you can just port yourself or do a jump to a different galaxy, and it's completely generated, it's completely new, and then to the point where the developers, they're stating that even to the developers they haven't explored everything in this game. And then when they were checking out the map, when they expanded the map, the galaxy, and then they were saying all those little stars or dots are actual galaxies. And
you can go to them and they all have their own planets.
And then
they got these robots
the crowd went
them.
wild. The crowd went wild when they were zooming in the map, and they just kept on zooming and zooming, and you just kept seeing millions of tons of stars in the map, and oh my god! And then he's stating that all of that can be explored. The crowd went wild, but okay, it's a lot of content. Cool. what we do in terms of we just explore. What else do we do? I mean, like that's the question I'm still trying to ask, like trying to wonder about this game.
Well,
are you guys confused about this? Because I'm still like
no. I mean, like I guess it's just like an open world space exploration game.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. I get the feeling it's going to be similar to, like, say, Elite Dangerous or even Star Citizen in a way, you know? Like, it's open world exploration, space combat, whatever.
It's just not structured like a normal video game where you have, like, developers making scenarios and set pieces for you. And this one is just like, it's space. Just go in and do space things.
Yeah, like I think what you mentioned it, maybe that. When you start digging around on the planet, you actually get somewhat attacked by robotic sentient.
Apparently each planet will have these sentries on it, which is like robot chicken walkers that lurk about.
Yeah, so if you're like digging around and like messing up with the planet, they will enforce you in some way.
This undiscovered planet has a robot on it. I don't.
Who would have known? Yeah. Hello Games. They promise it'll be done soon, but I don't know. We will see. Because I know it's a very small team working on this, and it's a very ambitious game.
Yeah, it's
game.
like 3 guys, I think. Which
think.
I believe they were on stage. Like all of them was on stage at one of the E3s.
But definitely Sony's like on this. Like they're super supporting No Man's Sky and treating it like a PS4 exclusive, just like how they're treating like games like Destiny, even though it's not an exclusive. They're just treating it that way. So yeah, No Man's Sky, we're getting more out of it. Hopefully we'll see more in the coming months. Right after that, we got Media Molecule, the creators of Little Big Planet, and they announced their new game called Dreams.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very,
which is
very
also very
title.
vague.
I don't know. Yeah, it looked weird. It's like a claymation guy, and then they made him like do stuff.
No, it's like you're given a blank dream and you can draw whatever you want. And then other people can visit it and play through it.
And then it becomes nightmarish, and then becomes really scary, and then, I don't want to play this game anymore.
I guess it's just like a canvas, then you can do whatever, and then other people can go into it.
I don't understand how the game is actually quote-unquote played. Like, it seems to me like a sort of 3D artistic like painting thing, I
think it's the perfect example of this kind of concept is like you're given a canvas.
Yeah.
And do whatever you want. I mean, like you can change this because I remember they were saying like you can change the sound, the animation, what happens, if it's bad or good, or whatever. Do whatever you want, and that's too much. That's too much freedom.
Hey, that's what they're good at.
That's too much freedom. Yeah, that's what they're good at actually.
Well,
Little Big Planet is still an amazing, creation. Level,
Pretty sure people are going to make penises, though.
Oh, sure, for sure, man.
For sure, the penises will come.
And then they'll make so much that it gets kind of old, and then the real stuff comes out.
The real penises come out? What?
The dream penis. I mean, if you make one thing enough times, it gets kind of old, and you kind of outgrow that, I guess.
Yeah.
No, but I think this could be an awesome game for the kids. Really, I mean, just to be, because how open their mind is. They can just
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see what people make with this.
Yeah, and because
apart from penises.
Oh yeah, surely.
If my nephew started making penises, then I have a huge problem. Or my brother.
Only 8% of kids are affected by that.
No, but that's I'm really excited for this because my nephew, there's like a sandbox mode in Disney Infinity. And you can do whatever you want. You can structures.
The toy box mode?
Yeah, something like that. And he goes nuts with it. He literally plays with he lines up the enemies in one area. And he lines up the hero. He really plays around with it, literally as an actual toy box. So this is actually going to be pretty. I'm actually pretty curious on how this will turn out. I'm actually considering getting Little Big Planet 3 just for him actually, to see what he can do with that.
Oh yeah, since you have access to all the levels from the previous 2 games.
Yeah. So
I guess it depends on how well Dreams controls, because he sort of traced everything with the light on the DualShock 4, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And then what else can you do from that? Because in the demo they showed after that with the dude playing the piano and the whooshing camera. Like, it looks like there's a bunch of other options that you can do, so we'll just have to see.
But for sure, though, Dream's going to be a gimmicky PS4 title. They're going to play around with the controller.
Oh, yeah.
The functions of that one, and especially the PSI and stuff like that. So, yeah. Media Molecule is still a busy studio, still a creative studio. Right after that, we got... you were excited about this, Firewatch. It was Firewatch showed up in the Sony stage, and
Firewatch is coming to PS4. I am happy.
It's a very intriguing indie, actually, just by seeing it.
Yeah, like the art style is very like cartoony, and then you're basically, this game is also sort of vague because it's more adventure than game. Because you're
how do you explain this? Yeah, for those who don't know what Firewatch is.
There's a 17-minute video of it on IGN, which shows you the first like 17 minutes of the game essentially, and you're basically a Firewatch ranger. Like you watch a forest in case there's a forest fire, then report accordingly. So you're going around the park, and then like there are two teenagers who aren't where they're supposed to be. So you report that, and then walk around, and you're constantly having a conversation with another ranger in another tower. And like the dialogue is really well written, and if you're not into that, then this probably isn't for you. But I implore you to all check out that 17-minute video.
Just to get a full idea of what Firewatch is all about.
It's so well written, man. It's like actual people talking.
It's like a weird sort of mystery, open world survival.
Yeah, there's a sort of mystery aspect into it that they didn't really get into. Because apparently the two girls that you reported go missing at some point, and you see a shadow in the distance as a thunderstorm is coming your way, and someone raids your tower and all that.
And then someone's in your tower and you're not there and stuff.
Yeah. So
it's not easy being a Firewatch, man.
I guess.
It's not. You think you just stare in
Yeah, you don't have internet. You don't have your 3DS.
You don't have your 3DS. All right, moving on though. Destiny showed up.
The Taken King.
Another expansion. Apparently, it's not going to be. I am starting to feel that Destiny is not going to be like a sequel coming out soon or anything like that. I think they just keep on adding on to this fucking game.
Yeah, 10-year plan, man.
That's what
they
said.
Case.
Yeah, and it's starting to feel like we don't have. It's an MMO-ish kind of game. There's no subscriptions, but there's MMO elements. But I think these expansions coming out every 3 to 4 months feel like a subscription rate at this point, because
they're coming out really fast.
Really fast, and I don't. Whoever's playing Destiny without the expansions, I salute you guys. I mean, like, it's so hard without them. If you want to be like in par with those who have the expansions, like, it's just you kind of have to. Like, I was fighting it for a while until I finally got the second expansion, and I don't know. It's so hard without it. And now they announced the Taken King, which comes out on September, I think, 15. And this is what they call a major expansion. Apparently, the other expansions weren't major enough. What you get is a raid and 3 new subclasses for the 3 classes in Destiny, and they look pretty cool. I won't lie. Like, the hunters, there's some kind of like bow and arrow going on. There's some Sith magic happening with the warlock, and the other class has a hammer. It seems like a Thor thing going on. And you get raid. I already mentioned, you get a raid, you get some PvP maps, and you get some new strikes. The big problem though with this is I know it's gonna start up at $40 for an expansion.
That seems pretty high for an expansion.
It's pretty high, but of course they're justifying that you have, new abilities for this game. And the $40 price tag was pretty much the price tag if you want to buy expansion 1 and 2 today, because they're like $20 each. So that's how they're justifying it. I don't know. We'll see. I played a lot of Destiny. I still play it every now and then. I have the second expansion. I had a good time with it. This one, it all depends on how Bungie's gonna give the information about the Taken King. But Destiny is definitely not going away anytime soon, though. I'm now starting to assume that after Taken King, we'll see more announcement of new expansions, and yeah, like what Mickey said, a 10-year plan. It's gonna be there forever. World of Warcraft style. And yeah, moving on, we have Assassin's Creed Syndicate, showing the other half, like the sister of Jacob Fry, kicking ass. And well, we've given our thoughts about Assassin's Creed Syndicate, but I think it's pretty cool that we actually get to play another character this time around.
It's the Eevee trailer.
Yes.
All I kept thinking was the Pokemon Eevee. You know?
The one that can turn to anything.
That can turn into anything. There'll be some PS4 exclusive missions, of course, with Assassin's Creed Syndicate. That's the reason why Sony Assassin's Creed was in the Sony stage. And yeah, after that, we got Square Enix on the stage. And you know what that means. Well,
the only mention of the Vita throughout the whole Sony press conference.
Yes. Well, I was expecting. Well, when I saw when I saw Square Enix go into the stage, I was actually expecting Final Fantasy 15. That wasn't the case. They announced a new game, and it was hard to understand what was going on because I thought it was Kingdom Hearts at the first few seconds, and then they were just small all throughout, like chibi style. And then after the trailer ended, we saw the title. It's called World of Final Fantasy. This is for the kids, obviously. But what do you guys think about?
Yeah, they went more into it in the Sony press conference and explained that it's going to be an easier Final Fantasy. They went more into it in the Square Enix press conference about how it's going to be an easier Final Fantasy to get into, like to bring in the new generation. And you look like two characters from Kingdom Hearts going through different Final Fantasy games and meeting all the heroes.
I honestly thought...
My first thought was not Kingdom Hearts, but it looked like a mobile game to me.
Yeah, it looked like a mobile game too. And it went through three different art styles.
Yeah, it did. They went through a series of different art styles. I was actually hoping that in the first few seconds, I was actually hoping this is Chocobo Dungeon, like the new one, because it looked like Chocobo Dungeon for a while, and then all of a sudden, all those characters showed up.
It's like you're going through Theatrhythm without the music.
Did they actually mention what kind of gameplay we have? I mean, what gameplay is for World of Final Fantasy?
It looked. There was one part of the trailer where it looked like just regular turn-based combat. I mean, active time battle combat, and I think that was the only thing that they actually showed.
ATB.
I think that's what it is. I think it is just a traditional Japanese RPG, but with these sort of chibi Final Fantasy characters in it.
I'm assuming it'll put in elements from each respective game, like maybe depending where you are. Like if you're with Cloud, you get materia, and if you're with Terry, you get magic transformations. Who knows?
Yeah, but it's definitely for the kids though. But right after that,
well, I don't think so. I want to play it.
I'd play it. It's coming out on the Vita. That's a good sign.
Yeah, that's the first time they mentioned the PS Vita, actually. But after they mentioned or announced this game, the big one showed up, and...
Oh, yes, the big one.
The big one is the understatement of the year.
No, because the unexpected one. What was your feelings when you heard him saying...
We're talking about the Final Fantasy VII HD Remake trailer.
Yes.
So, how it played out was you would see... Because I sort of already knew, because, there was a lot of rumors already about E3 Sony press conference about... And, Ff7 Remake was one of them. So when I saw that, the highway, the gray highway, and, in my mind, I was like, that looks like it's from Advent Children. And then right after that, they showed the slide in the park with all the green, mechanical shit in the background, and I was losing my mind. I was yelling out loud, I gotta type something quick.
Actually, when I saw the slide, I actually thought, okay, that's Midgard. This better not be a movie. This better not be a movie.
Yeah, they trick you with this like first-person shooter like narrator throughout the whole thing.
I get what you're saying. Yeah.
What was your thoughts about it, Will, when you first heard about it? Well, were you actually watching it, or you just got the announcement?
No. I was generally surprised. Well, look, let me put it this way. First, I wasn't going crazy, because FF7 is actually not my favorite thing, and to be fair, I actually don't know why people are make such a hoo-ha about it. But for the longest time, Square has been saying they would never do a remake.
Oh yeah, they actually said that it's too expensive at some point. I think it was last year.
What about you, Will? What do you think about? What was your thoughts when you actually, when the trailer started playing, and then
I was actually, I didn't know what it was until I saw like Barrett's
arm
pop up, and then the Buster Sword came into view. So I was actually kind of curious as to what it was until it came out, and then when I realized what it was genuine surprise, because Square has actually gone before have said that they would actually most likely never do a remake.
Square is actively lying to us.
Yeah, well, for whatever reason, I don't remember what the reason was, but I recall them saying that we would not do a remake of Final Fantasy VII. But here we are, and they're actually doing it now. So for me, I was really surprised to see that. Final Fantasy VII is not my favorite Final Fantasy game, but I can understand why a lot of people are super excited about this. And from what I understand, there might be some changes in this remake. So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see.
It'll be cool.
But
I find weird though, just to bring this up, is last year, if you recall, they mentioned they would be bringing the PS1 version over to the PS4 as the HD.
No, the new PC version is the one they're bringing to the PS4.
So, but that's basically an HD version.
Yeah, like an up-res widescreen version of the PS1 version.
Yeah, because you want to see the pixels up close and personal. So
yeah, you need them really sharp,
Would you think it's still worth buying that though?
I'm sure somebody will buy it because, like, oh my god, I want to play it again.
No, like if it's at least $5, sure. But given how Square charges for whatever the games they have, if there's a sale, just get it on the sale.
No, but this is a good. This is in a way kind of disappointing in a way too, because I feel that Square has been remaking their older Final Fantasy games up the wazoo for a while now, and it seems like they're not bringing out anything new.
No, they are bringing something new. They have like a.
They are, yes. We saw that in their conference.
At the Sony, at the point of which the Sony conference took place, they weren't making anything new yet until their press conference actually happened.
Yeah, exactly. And then even when their press conference, well, we'll get to that in a bit, but
more to come.
If they were to remake anything, or at least create sequels, I would prefer sequels to remakes, because I can easily buy FF7 now on the PSN store. It's available readily for PlayStation Classics. So, like, what about like IPs like Chrono Trigger or Secret of Mana? Like, those games haven't gotten anything in years.
No, but at least now you can, with how them releasing or announcing Final Fantasy VII to be remade, that means they're open to look back now. At least that's a confirmation from the company saying, okay, we're going to look back. We're not going to look forward and start playing around with it.
For me, it's like, this is amazing. FF7 Remake is finally happening, but like, what'll happen with the future of Square?
Yeah, like, are they going to be remaking Final Fantasy games till the end?
Are they just going to die after this game comes out?
No, I don't think so. If this does well, that's incentive for them to remake other ones as well.
No, well, I don't want them to be the one to live off their past, because it's actually more pressure, for example, for Final Fantasy 15 to really live up, because the Final Fantasy 13 franchise, as much as a lot of people, they build a community out of that, people liked it. Majority wasn't pulled into the Final Fantasy franchise as to like the other games before, like 8, 9, 10. Choose your Final Fantasy, really. Final Fantasy 13 wasn't in that caliber. Someone will deny that my statement, but that's what I think. But 15 has to be, from what I'm saying, 15 has to like break the same barrier, or be at least in that level of like Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 6, 10, that kind of caliber that really wow us. So they can move forward, because I really don't want, like, I think what Mickey says about they're gonna die, will they make remakes forever? I mean, like, that's what I don't want Square to be, especially the Final Fantasy franchise. No, Square will be around because they have a lot of other franchises. That's for sure.
They're a big publisher now.
Yeah, they're a big publisher, but their bread and butter to dwindle and die, that I don't want to see, because I remember with them when they were talking about the remake, I understood their point that they don't want to look back and then right on their fame before, and pretty much just focus instead of Final Fantasy's future. That's why they never bothered doing it. Why they did this? Most likely Sony pushed them. I don't know, but it's happening.
It's happening.
My first ever RPG ever.
Really?
I'm not kidding. Okay. Like when I got my PS1.
That was mine too.
When I got my PS1, I got 2 games for my PlayStation 1. Final Fantasy 7 and Alundra. Those 2 games.
Wow, 2 RPGs. See, that's probably why it's not my favorite, because it wasn't my first Final Fantasy.
It was my first.
It was a lot of people's first.
My first Final Fantasy was actually 6, which was 3 in the US, right? And then from there, I liked it so much, I went and bought 2, which was 4.
Yep.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, I don't think Square will do the whole let's remake everything again, because nothing has the same amount of pull as FF7 does.
Yeah.
No, that's true. It's really a specific generation's Final Fantasy game.
And I feel like if they announced the remake maybe after at least next year or no, after next year, like if they didn't announce it this year or next year, like people wouldn't be waiting for a remake anymore.
No, but I have one reason I have an idea on why they actually announced this particularly. But we'll just go through the rest first, like after we've discussed the whole press conference. But yeah, Final Fantasy 7 is definitely happening.
It's real, guys.
Coming to the PS4 first. It's not an exclusive. It's timed exclusive. That's for sure already. It's gonna come into the PS4 first, but for sure it'll go to other platforms in a later date.
Oh yeah, probably.
And of course, don't expect an actual copy. Like in any medium, when it comes to remakes, they don't exactly, follow the same path or the same content. They're gonna have changes for sure. Okay, moving on. Let's go for another Megaton. Let's go from one Megaton to another Megaton. Shenmue 3.
Wow, Shenmue 3.
Yeah, this also after the bombshell that was FF7, then they got the Shenmue dude to come out.
Yeah, so many mans were like men.
I was also screaming. Like,
they were
Will,
screaming,
were you
screaming.
I was.
You were screaming internally.
I was in the bathroom.
I was like, oh my god. I had my hands on my face. I was making this oh my god face. It was
no.
Because I thought
is this real life?
Yeah, I thought this would never happen. I like really. Like if FF7 had a tiny 1% chance to happen, this had
nothing.
0.001, yeah. And in fact, it's not even completely there. They just announced the Kickstarter, which by the way broke records.
Yeah.
And was funded almost in a day.
Let me double check, because when they initially announced or launched the Kickstarter for Shenmue 3, they wanted the 2 mil.
I think they were asking for 1 mil, and they got 2 in.
They were asking for 2
5
mil,
hours,
and they got in a couple hours they got it. It's crazy.
No, a couple of hours. Yeah, I think it was a couple of hours for sure. Like within the day.
Within the day, for sure. Yeah.
They were doing the stretch goals already. For fuck's sake.
They were coming up with them as it was going.
As of this recording for the podcast, they have 44,000. Whoa, that video's playing on my ear. 44,703 backers, and they currently have raised 3.5 mil, and they have 24 days to go. Mind you, this game that's not enough to make a game though. In that caliber, I'll tell you that right now. Like I think, okay, cool. It's awesome that they announced Shenmue 3. It's gonna happen. But Sony for sure is backing this up or like supporting it.
Oh yeah, definitely, because
for sure, yeah.
A Kickstarter on a Sony press conference, Sony's got to be in there.
No, Sony's got to be there, and
for sure.
They're asking for 2 mil.
And 2 million is not enough for Shenmue. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, 2 million is.
No, I double checked on how much they spent to make Shenmue, for example, for the sake of comparing. They spent around 95 mil. That's their capital to make Shenmue. I think 1 or 2. I'm not too sure which one, but.
No, actually, Shenmue was one of the most expensive games ever made for its time.
Yeah,
and it was on the Dreamcast.
It was on the Dreamcast. Yeah, so I think
Dreamcast.
So it's just scratching the surface of what they need to actually make a full-fledged Shenmue 3, Shenmue sequel. From what it looks like, this is just them testing the waters. Like how much do the fans want this game?
And they a lot want it.
And they want a lot. I mean,
But I really hope, though, that this also incentivizes them to re-release Shenmue 1 and 2, because those games are
bundle them
really,
together.
They're really hard to find now. Like, finding used copies, they're quite rare. It was one of those games that I don't know if it sold particularly well, but became a cult classic because of how different it was back then.
Mm-hmm.
Shenmue is pretty much the precursor to what we have now as the Yakuza games, right? So think of it like that. Like, it was one of those games where you could really do anything. You want to play an arcade game, you could do that. You can play Pachinko.
Yeah, you can basically do like real life stuff. Like I think there was a dude in Japan who runs a store, and in the store he had a Dreamcast set up, and he was playing Shenmue, and his character was also running a store. Like, that sounds like a joke, but I think that actually happened.
That's like watching your Sims.
Okay. I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Shenmue has been gone for a long time. Is it even gonna survive when it comes out? Like, there are so many games that have so much of what Shenmue can give. Like,
it has to do like maybe literally everything. Especially with
the
money that they might have.
GTA 5S?
No, it maybe more like. At least Yakuza level, but like you can go through every shop or building or whatever, possibly.
Yeah, and I think they really will have no choice but to re-release Shenmue 1 and 2, because this is a continuation. This is a
You're
direct
still
sequel.
Gonna avenge your dad.
So, but a lot of people
it's
don't
that
know
story
the story
arc?
of Shenmue.
Yeah, like, I need to find my dad's killer,
line.
but let me go play this arcade game first.
Yes, let me play Space Invaders.
Let me beat up these thugs in the corner, for fuck's sake. I don't care. Just for no reason.
No, but that's why. A lot of people aren't familiar with the story. So, because it was... What was the last one? Like,
Shenmue 2?
2001 on the Xbox, the original Xbox?
Was it on Xbox? I thought it was just on Dreamcast.
It was on the original Xbox as well. I remember that. And it was on such a cliffhanger also. I remember it.
I don't remember that game at all. I just remember the arcades and the vending machines.
You can take the train there if you want.
But this makes me wonder, like, how are they handling this with Sega? Because Sega technically still owns the rights to
this. Remember
that's
at one point the fucking is it the rights to Shenmue? Like, it expired, so there was a week where nobody owned Shenmue.
Oh, really?
And people were freaking out. Somebody please buy this.
Someone own it, please. It's not gonna happen if no one owns it.
And Sega bought it back.
Yeah,
again,
Sega just forgot that it expired.
Oh god!
Apparently that was the reason.
But yeah, so like, how will that work? Because this is technically a Kickstarter. I don't think that guy who is still with Sega. So I'm kind of curious to see what arrangement they have.
Well, it's kickstarted, so it has to be real.
No, definitely. But again, I'm just wondering what the business deal they had with Sega was to get this.
It's such a weird decision too. Like, we're so glad it exists, but who would fund Shenmue 3?
I guess the guy went up and said, "Hey Sega, I want to make another Shenmue game on Kickstarter. Is that okay?"
Then Sega's like, "Find someone with money."
No, yeah, but Sega's like, well, okay, you worked on the last two, so I guess it's okay. Let's see how much money you can get off Kickstarter, because we don't think anyone wants to.
I didn't even think. I was more surprised that Kickstarter actually was, in a press conference. To be honest.
Yeah, that made it extra weird, like an announcement for a Kickstarter.
Yeah, and with a countdown too, right? Like, it's
with pedals.
Yeah, like it's gonna go live now. Oh man,
so weird.
But
it's a weird
guys.
year, man. It's a really peculiar year.
it's happening.
Yeah,
so
Shenmue 3 shouldn't happen. Final Fantasy 7 shouldn't happen. Last Guardian doesn't want to happen,
Shouldn't
but apparently,
happen.
But it's happening.
It's all happening.
Okay, so guys, calm down. We're done. We went through the worst. All right, okay. After that, we went Batman. No, we didn't go Batman. Actually, we didn't go Batman. What was that? That series of games. Someone help me here because there was a series of games that was announced for a specific studio. My list is literally wait. Because it was after. It was before Batman. Because I think everybody was losing their shit when they saw Shenmue. They just walked away from the screen.
they stopped paying attention for a minute.
No, seriously, people were like.
Yeah, like I remember Facebook. Some people were in disbelief. Like, it's got to be a joke, right? It's not real. Because the trailer hasn't gone up on YouTube yet.
Yeah.
So like people were going off word of mouth and like they announced remake. That's not real. They said that they wouldn't make one, and then the trailer comes out and they all start crying.
Okay. Right in the Sony press conference, we also got a look at. For some reason, we got a trailer for Batman Arkham Knight, which, by the way,
it's out today.
It's out, yeah. Like we said, like as soon as this recording, we actually got some announcements from the stores. It's already out.
It's getting good reviews.
It's getting good reviews. Yeah, it's getting very good reviews. Everybody's loving the fact of how they pretty much ended the Arkham series, because this is like the last game, and they're saying that they're ending it on a high note, and that's good to hear that they're ending it on a high note. It's just weird that they actually Sony bothered to put some screen time for a game that'll be out, during that time. It was like it's coming out in a week when they were.
Yeah, they showed Scarecrow missions.
Yeah, more exclusive content. That's the reason why these third-party games show up in Sony, because they show that we have an hour worth of content.
Yeah, they gave Sony money, so
yeah, why not?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. But it's just funny though. You saw the trailer. It's like boom, spoiler. Someone's dead.
First person. Oh yeah, they're burning someone.
Yeah, they're burning some. We don't want to be that. We don't want to be that guy, those kind of guys. But the trailer.
A first person view of a policeman walking into a diner.
Mm-hmm.
He gets gassed.
He gets gassed big time. But yeah, Batman shows up, and then we got some news on Project Morpheus, which is kind of weird because I was expecting Sony to focus heavily on marketing and fluffing the hell out of Project Morpheus, but it felt more like a mention actually when Andrew House showed up and then talked about it. It was more like just like a short mention, like okay, and then this is right after Microsoft when you saw the whole HoloLens and all that, and then them saying that they're working on they're in talks with Valve's VR and Valve's VR team and the Oculus Rift. I thought they're gonna go heavy, and go Oculus Rift. No, they just mentioned it, and that's actually a weird move. They also announced a new IP called Riggs. And
Riggs.
Were you guys actually there or were you still? Oh my God, Shenmue!
I'm trying to remember Riggs.
But yeah, Riggs was
like trucks.
No, it's a mech. No one saw it. It's like a mech.
It was all a blur after that.
Yeah, no, the mech game.
It was all a blur. Okay. But they used a new IP.
Yeah, this is for Project Morpheus actually.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I remember this. I just wasn't able to write it down.
It's basically a VR mech game, which is pretty damn cool.
Yeah, sure. Like that's perfect.
But all we saw was we did see some gameplay, but of course it was like a pre-recorded kind of thing, and we've experienced the VR headsets already ourselves. So for me, seeing it on a 2D screen does not translate the actual experience well enough. Because you'll be wearing the headset, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I don't want to. It looks right now to me like a kind of wannabe MechWarrior game, but of course, I can't say it's going to be like that because we don't have the VR headset to make a real comparison to.
But that's the only mention about Project Morpheus. I mean, it wasn't that grand.
Yeah, it was surprisingly very little about Project Morpheus. Like we didn't get anything.
Yeah, it's like it's available on the show floor. You can play around with it and all that. But in terms of like time for the press conference for the event, no, they didn't bother wasting the time. They just mentioned it.
I'm guessing they didn't have anything ready for like the demo out. And this isn't coming like as early as the Oculus Rift, after all.
No, and I think it's really hard. Like I think Microsoft was able to pull off a way to like demonstrate the game to people who are watching or or on stage. I mean, they were able to pull it off. I think it's just really hard to do it. If like this is what you see out of Project Morpheus, you just I don't know how.
You see like two screens on the.
Yeah, it's really hard to like emulate or like show like this is how cool it is. The only
Cross your eyes, guys. You'll see.
The only way to experience, just like how Oculus Rift, like before we actually tried it and during ESGS.
When you see it on a PC screen, it's just like two circles with
Yeah, but when you actually use it, then you can actually you kind of understand like you have to use it to kind of appreciate that kind of technology. So I guess they didn't want to bother mentioning because it was available in the show floor anyway. The Project Morpheus to play around with it, so that's pretty cool. House also talked about the PlayStation View and these streaming services, like which I don't think will work for us.
That's why I can't. I don't really care about that stuff because like it's not going to apply to us.
Yeah, we can't. Like it's new entertainment services that will be super exciting for US owners and all that. But
this is basically the function of Xbox One that nobody cared about, the TV function.
The TV side for the PlayStation 4.
Are these consoles becoming each other?
No, they're actually friends in real life. They just
I'm gonna steal something from you. You're gonna steal something from me.
No. Microsoft is gonna do the TV thing, and then we'll tone down. We'll get some hate, and then you do the TV thing, and you get some hate, and then we're the same.
We'll alternate. We'll work around this.
We don't want them all to get this stuff.
I'm gonna steal the Wii U's letters, the VUE.
The View.
All right, moving on.
It's like I was trying to type this out, the PlayStation View, and I almost typed VIEW.
VI?
Then he showed the spelling at the end. VU. Yeah, because that's how they kept saying it about PlayStation View. So I was about to type it in as PlayStation View, VIEW. Then they show the spelling at the end. VUE.
Oh, how witty, House. Oh, how witty.
It's like, oh, man.
Yeah. Moving on. Another, actually, quite a surprise. Call of Duty shows up.
Another surprise, yeah.
Sony.
Call of Duty.
Call of betrayal,
Call of
the high school breakup,
Black Ops 3, the betrayal.
COD is cheating with Sony over Microsoft.
Shit, man, it's a reality.
We gotta tell Nintendo.
Call of Duty, the new home for the Call of Duties, apparently.
The best place to play.
Is on PlayStation.
We gotta raise the bar.
I have a huge feeling is that Sony and Activision has a very good relationship now thanks to Destiny, that when their expiration with Microsoft ended, it's either Microsoft didn't want to do it anymore or Sony swooped in because they're already connected with Destiny in a way, so they were able to nab Call of Duty back to to make it like this is the best place to play now, the upcoming Call of Duty games. Is it wise to do this now when we feel like Call of Duty is on its way out, or can I say it's on its way out?
I think it's I don't think it's on its way out. I'm pretty sure we'll still get Call of Duty next year.
No, we'll get it next year, but we see a dwindle of interest and sales.
There is a dwindling.
It's definitely way past its peak. It's going down. It's not dead. It's not really not dead. We're not saying it's dead. We're saying it's going down. It's going lower than what they expect. And then now Sony is picking it up, like getting the same treatment or giving players the same treatment. Early access to specific map packs or exclusive content, yada yada yada. You don't think so? Well, like.
No. I think it's still a big enough name that getting it from Microsoft still is somewhat important. It would have been more impactful a year or two years ago, but it still has enough of an impact that Sony would, I still think it's a good move on Sony's part to get it.
Yeah, someone has to get the blops. And it
did
look cool.
No, it did look cool. And when I say dwindling, it's not even close to like not selling well. I mean, like it's
just selling lower.
It's selling lower.
Yeah, it's selling lower.
I'm still positive that it's still like the number one game in every charts still, even though it's already going down.
But it's not hitting the old numbers.
Yeah,
not like the record-breaking numbers that it was getting before.
So like for sure, like Sony feels confident enough to like pick it up at this point where they're trying to really be consistent with their yearly release and then keep it interesting for the players. They pick it up at this time, and I don't know. Like Miggy was saying, it looked pretty cool. It did look pretty cool. I am kind of invested with Black Ops that series for Call of Duty, so I just might get this.
Yeah, it's basically
I got like 1 and 2 already. I ignored everything
Black Ops
else.
with the power suits.
Pretty much. It's Black Ops with the power suits, minus the dog plus the zombies.
I guess
there's still gonna be zombies.
Oh yeah, because Treyarch has the zombie mode.
Yeah.
Wait, is there a dog?
No, I just want to say minus the dog. There's no dog. I just want to say minus the dog for fuck's sake.
There might be a dog.
You never know.
A robot dog.
Or a raptor. Anyway, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, same treatment, but this time it's for PlayStation 4 folks. I'm going to pick it up. It's going to be so cool.
It's going to come out on the other platforms then. Surely.
Yeah. Right after that, we got a montage, and it's funny how we got a video montage of the games that was announced, and then when I was seeing the montage for like PS4 and whatnot, then I saw this one game that I thought we were gonna see, Until Dawn.
Oh yeah, the hidden penetration game.
The survival.
Yeah, we only got it in the montage. I mean, they didn't even bother spending time like hey, we have this game that you might like.
Yeah, they're not pushing it.
They're not.
Apparently, it was on the show floor.
Yeah, it was on the show floor. Yeah,
with an actual demo.
Which again shows me that there's so much like
there's too much.
No,
this
I think
E3 is huge.
With every press conference so far, I think to the point where these companies had to like flesh out what's in the press conference and what's out. It doesn't mean it's not worth talking about. It's just there's not enough time. There's not enough space.
Yeah, not enough time.
Yeah, and we've seen it with Bethesda. We've seen it with. No, actually, Bethesda was it's very little, but there's so much information. Microsoft, Sony, that's a lot of information. And is there a release? I think there's a release date for Until Dawn, but it's definitely, I think, this year. I have to double check on that.
I remember it being this year, but I don't have the date in my head.
Yeah, and then I think then they had some guy from Disney, or is it from Disney Infinity?
No, not like before that. During the montage, people were going crazy saying,
"Why?
Is that it? Is that the end of the Sony press conference?
Yeah.
I'm confused."
Actually, yeah, because they usually when they end the press conference, they throw a montage in the end, and then I guess that's them changing it up.
Disney Infinity comes out.
And it's the most awkward guy to do it. He was so excited to announce Disney Infinity 3.0 going Star Wars. And this one is pretty cool. This Star Wars is pretty cool.
No, the guy who came out sounds like he actually sells toys for a living.
Not too.
Like the way he talked was like, this is my job. And hey, Star Wars.
So what are we getting out of the Disney 3.0? It's the original trilogy. One playset's the original trilogy, I think, and which is I think the Rise of the Empire, Rise Against the Empire.
Yeah, the Luke Skywalker games.
Yeah, and pretty much it's gonna be PlayStation exclusive starter pack, the Twilight of the Republic and Rise Against the Empire.
Oh yeah, with the Boba Fett.
With the Boba Fett.
That was the one, right?
And is there actually going to be Star Wars Rebels in this? I don't think they mentioned that.
Maybe a little later, depending on who owns the properties for that.
I know, but I'm just kind of curious if they're going to put that because like they have like I guess the new characters and I think the Clone Wars time, and then
no, they're gonna do all of the movies first and then venture out after that because that's a really easy place to go.
Yeah, and again, going back, the Boba Fett figure will be a limited edition. and
for the PS4 bundle packs or whatever.
And this is pretty cool. Like, it's actually good for the kids because they're doing pretty well with Disney Infinity. Again, back to my nephew and with his PS4.
Yeah, it looks really cool. The gameplay looks really nice. Star Wars is always cool.
Figures, amiibos, Infinities, Skylanders, so many. Right after that, more Star Wars. We've already talked about this game, Star Wars Battlefront, because we just discussed about the EA press conference. We saw our first glimpse of the gameplay. Battlefront did show up again for the Sony press conference. Still looks pretty awesome.
Yeah, they showed different footage, but it was essentially just a video.
Yeah, we didn't get anything new information-wise, so...
It still looks cool.
Still looks good. Yeah.
Yeah, if you want our thoughts on Star Wars Battlefront, head over in EA, because that's pretty much all you need out of that press conference.
Yeah, it was my salvation from Pele's story mode.
For Pele mode. Pele and Hoop God, sorry.
No, the Hoop God part was fun.
I'm sorry, I'm wrong. I made a mistake there. The Hoop God.
So,
if there was a Hoop Dog, though, that would be freaking awesome.
Next
Call of
year.
Duty. Call of Duty.
It looks just like me.
Hoop Dog.
So, at the show floor, apparently, they had the playable demo of Hoth.
Oh, the Hoth?
And
okay.
they also had another playable demo at a different booth for Tatooine.
Ooh.
So I think that's what was at the Sony booth, the Tatooine one. And then the Hoth was at the EA booth.
I hope that the single player or the co-op missions are fun to play. I hope. I hope...
Yeah, because, in the older games, those weren't much of a thing. It was just play this mission that was in the movie and win.
No, I know, but you know how.
But since
how
games have changed,
you know how Dice's record with
they need to make a campaign now to cater to the newer kids.
Or campaign or not, but something fun, like solo wise or co-op wise.
Yeah, single player definitely.
Yeah, I hope it's fun because multiplayer. Okay, cool. We know what to expect out of Dice. We're excited about that, but that other aspect, I hope they nail it this time.
Yeah, but not everyone has good internet like us.
Thus me hoping that I can at least enjoy the game if it so happens that my net fucks up at that specific time, whatever. But I'm still pretty excited. I still want to play, some Battlefront.
Battlefront was so
right
good.
after that, of course, we're at the tail end of the Sony press conference. Did I miss anything before we start this one?
No, I think it goes straight into this last big one that they got.
The last big one, which was expected, but still big enough to generate some excitement.
Yeah, this was expected, but we were all expecting it to come out earlier.
Like when Last Guardian was slaughtered instead.
Usually that would be where it goes.
Wait, before we start, okay, we're talking about Uncharted 4. A Thief's End demo was the last one to end the Sony press conference. But where was Last of Us? Was it also in the end?
Last of Us.
When they first announced, or whenever, I don't know. Was it? Did Last of Us end a E3 press conference? I'm just trying to remember that.
I don't think
so.
I
don't think so, right? Yeah.
Because remember the first actual Last of Us demo they showed was at a VGX or a VGA rather.
Well, I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong, whoever's listening, because I'm trying to remember that. But anyway, it's not really important. Uncharted 4, they started off with a live demo. And we have confirmation it's a live demo. We have confirmation it's a live demo because cutscene happened.
There are stories of the back end of that. People were freaking out, getting all the DS4s they could get.
I read the conversation because, of course, the journalists flocked over to Naughty Dog about this. What we're talking about is when the cutscene happened, and then we see Nathan Drake and Sully. We actually see Sully. We see Sully for the first time, actually, from Uncharted 4. They help each other open this door, and there's a really busy crowd, busy market.
Yeah, they walk into this pavilion thing with a bunch of tables and chairs.
Yeah, and essentially it starts off with Nathan and Sully trying to, we have to go to my brother. My brother's all the way in that blimp, that little tower that's so far away. We gotta get there, right? All right, cool. Let's go. Let's do it.
And then Nathan just stops walking.
And
says come on, yeah, we gotta go.
I don't know if you remember it, but I was typing, dude, first fuck up from Sony.
This is this is amazing.
It's amazing. No, Nathan Drake was not moving for a good minute.
Yeah, solid minute.
A solid minute until the point where they reset the demo.
No, they had a backup PS4.
No, it looked. I know, but it looked like they reset the demo from when I was watching.
Yeah, it looked like, but they had a backup PS4 that had a video of the demo.
Yeah. So like when they technically reset the presentation, bam, the demo started. But before we talk about the demo, when it actually worked, the story of that was Miggy was right. They were all freaking out. The Naughty Dog people were freaking out.
The controller just didn't work.
The controller was not working. It wasn't the game.
They tried bringing backups. It wasn't working either.
Yeah, because like
sorry. So apparently they do this for all their like main like demos.
Yeah,
they back it up.
Yeah, no, they have a video of someone playing the demo beforehand, in case the live demo doesn't work.
Yeah.
So this is probably one of, if not the first time in a long time that something like this happened.
It wasn't a bug,
because that means that like the demo exists.
Yeah, like the game wasn't like it was running properly. It's just the controller. It was the controller that didn't want to work. That's why Nathan Drake wasn't moving. And I think the director of for Uncharted 4, who's one of the devs who's playing it, he was like, "Why aren't you not moving? What the fuck?" They were literally freaking out, and they eventually made it work. But the reception of that, as much as it's a fuck up, people are saying, "That's
now
fine."
that's the proof it's a live demo.
Yeah, the proof is a live demo because it messed up.
There you go, exactly.
It made it more it made it more appealing, actually, to be honest.
Yeah, it wasn't a bad fuck up. It was like entertaining.
It was very entertaining, and
the demo was actually pretty good too.
The demo was actually pretty good. We get a glimpse of the usual cover shooting of Uncharted, but the only thing I kind of noticed from when the bullets started flying was everything was moving, everything was being affected by the fight. Like
like you could shoot a lot of the Foley in the
area, like the pots are falling, like
I think he shot through like a small wooden fence in between like two cover areas.
Yeah, everything seems destructible. Yeah, that was a lot. That's a lot of elements going on. Like it seems like they're really pushing the PS4 with this one. There's like a lot of elements going around.
Yeah, and you notice how many NPCs there were in the area.
That too. Yeah,
and they all freaked out.
I think that you have to consider that might be all scripted.
Oh yeah, that's
for sure. Yeah,
Uncharted.
Yeah,
but the area still looked fairly large. And given how long they went forward, because after that it became a car chase where you were actually driving the Jeep. Right?
Yeah, so that stage alone is like that's a huge scale for them to.
Yeah, people were freaking out about that. Oh, like I get to drive something now.
I'm gonna fuck that up so bad. Like take a right. No, I'm going left.
Yeah, like in the demo, it looks like he was fucking up. Like he almost ran into a few walls because he couldn't pull the turn.
Yeah.
And then you had to like go through, that one part near the end of the driving section where there's a crane digging a hole.
Yeah,
I would have fallen into that.
Yeah, I would have done the same thing.
Because he stopped and had to go through like a bridge on the right. But like me, I would have fallen into that straight up. I didn't see the area on the side.
But it was actually felt like the same level as, because I don't know, up to this point, even until now, I think they still retain like how it's so entertaining to watch these E3 Uncharted performances.
Yeah.
It's still entertaining because like when you first saw, I still remember Uncharted 2 when they demoed that, and Uncharted 2 was the reason why I bought my PS3, because when they showed the demo of like, oh my god, like Nathan Drake is fighting these thugs while a building is falling down.
Dude, the first stage is the frozen train that's falling.
Yeah, that too.
That's a huge set piece already.
That's a huge set piece. And then Uncharted 3's cargo set piece, like they started off with that, and now Uncharted 4, like a pretty awesome chase scene, really good looking game.
Yeah, it's like a well structured action movie, unlike Tomb Raider where everything bad just happens to Lara Croft.
Lara Croft just hates. I mean, nature hates Lara Croft.
Somebody's getting off on all that Tomb Raider nonsense.
That's true.
But after the car chase, you see Nathan Drake he uses his rope. Apparently, that's a new feature for Uncharted 4. Because we've seen the rope feature or the new mechanic for Nathan Drake and his new tool back in the PlayStation experience way back I think last year, and we see him use the rope, hang on the crane, and then the thing ends. Awesome demo, but I'm hearing a lot of talk that when you go to Sony during that E3, you can actually go to Sony. You can see the extended demo of that, and that
like it goes on after that moment.
Yeah, it goes on after that moment. You get to see his brother. You get to he fights alongside his brother during that chase scene with a bike and everything, and then towards the end you even see Elena. And apparently she's all pissed off at some point. It's a way extended trailer, and they're stating that there's pretty awesome mud effects. I don't know what they're talking about, but they're saying it's amazing.
I heard some talk about that.
The mud effects are amazing. Like, what the hell are they talking? They're actually being amazed by mud effects. I don't understand what they're talking about.
No, because like
what are these journalists doing?
Uncharted 1. In Uncharted 1, like, I was impressed by how, like, quote unquote dynamic the water is. Like, it would wet your T-shirt up to a certain point, like if you were in it.
Yeah.
And not like a generic texture. Now you touch the water and you're just wet everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it would stop where you stopped on the water.
Yeah.
So like this is the next level of that. It's the mud textures.
Mud textures.
And I like these crazy attention to details, and that's what Naughty Dog's good at.
Oh, they're very good at attention to details. Oh, and I don't want to miss the fact that Uncharted's banter during the E3 demo, at least, it's still charming. Like Sully talking to Nathan while the chase scene's happening, like, you know, it's still very witty and charming. You know, first time driver over here. It's really funny. And that's Sony.
Oh yeah, the everyman and the jokes.
Yep.
Well, it's always been funny, actually.
Who's this voice actor?
Sully?
Forget now. No, see, Drake.
Nathan Fillion.
We've forgotten. But this dude who's everyone also.
Why am I having a hard time with this? Oh no.
Starts with an N, I think. No, never mind.
Nolan North. Sorry. That's Sony. That's Sony's press conference for you guys. What do you guys think? Was it the best one ever? There's a lot of people saying.
I don't think it was the best ever. It was a very good one, and I think the best of this E3.
Yes.
I think it was the best conference.
Okay, yeah, it is Nolan North. I double checked.
Yeah, it's not the best lineup in terms of games, but, you know, like I said before, Sony knows how to play with your feelings. They arrange these games to come out, you know, feel after feel.
Okay, it's the best presentation. Like, it was very amazing. I was pretty amazed by it, by the announcements, but they don't have a good lineup for this year.
Yep.
Like,
it's not bad, but it's
no,
not
they don't have a lineup. What's coming out this year? First party
first party is really. They admitted that the first party is really weak this time around.
No, it's non-existent. Like Nintendo, which we'll talk about later in another cast.
Which is the exact opposite.
Yeah,
it's all first party.
Microsoft has an amazing lineup for this year. Like, there's a really big reason to buy an Xbox One. Sony, not really. Not so much. Like, it's an amazing press conference, but I think that's the reason why it is an amazing press conference, because they have to throw the smokes and mirrors. They have to throw the distractions already.
No, that's true. They say, wait till next year, guys.
Yeah, because everything is next year. Uncharted 4, next year. Final Fantasy 7, next decade. Last Guardian,
who knows?
next year.
Next decade.
Shenmue 3, well, the Kickstarter's not done. We don't know when it's going to happen. What else? What else was announced? No Man's Sky. There's a lot of content to work on. Never. It's never going to finish. What else? I think Until Dawn is coming out this year, but that's not going to hold.
Is that first party? That's not first party. It wasn't even.
It's exclusive.
It was only in a
It's
montage.
not first party, but it's an exclusive title at least. Like it's this will. It's still going to be a console seller because it's an exclusive. You can only get it in PS4s. You know what I mean? But it's very weak. Sony's lineup for Christmas at least is very weak. So they have Call of Duty to help them because they'll have exclusive content for Black Ops 3.
And that Scarecrow mission for Batman.
Yeah, so whoever's playing Batman right now will be enjoying the Scarecrow missions. Assassin's Creed exclusive content, Destiny's exclusive content. but first party not so much. There's nothing. Yep. There's not a Halo, like, you know what I mean. There's not something that would be the flag carrier for this year, and that's why.
Which is why they played those bombshell titles.
That's the only reason why. Everybody's super excited. People are like buying the PlayStation 4 now because, oh my god, Final Fantasy 7 is going to happen for sure.
It justified a lot of PS4s.
Yeah.
Like suddenly.
And that justification already in itself might help them soften the blow in their sales come December, come Christmas. Because it's a much tougher competition now for this year because, like I said, Nintendo has a good lineup. Xbox One price difference is not anymore an issue anymore, and they have a good lineup as well. It's going to be very tough for the PS4 to to compete against those consoles. And then to top it all off, we're going to have a first batch of what is that? Steam OS or Steam. What are those? Those damn consoles coming from different companies for the Steam OS. That's also coming out. So there's a lot of. It's hard to focus. A customer for that specific product, so that's why bam, Megaton, and then they're praying they're gonna bunker down until next year. That's my thoughts on why Final Fantasy 7 exists now. To be honest.
Yeah, and remember they announced a new, they finally confirmed the new SKU for the PS4, which will have the 1 terabyte.
Yeah, I think it was announced today actually. So we're gonna plug that in. What's it called? The Ultimate Edition? Is it really called the Ultimate Edition? Ultimate Package or whatever?
I don't know. It's
anyway, but the PS4 is definitely gonna get a 1 terabyte. I think on July, so it's definitely gonna happen. It's not a surprise.
Ultimate Player 1 terabyte edition.
Yeah, Ultimate whatever edition. But it's not a surprise. It was eventually going to lead up to 1 terabyte. So
we all knew this was coming.
If anybody's going to buy a PS4, go for that one because that's double the space. I think 500 is enough, but it's always okay to have more space.
It's not enough.
I'm okay with 500. I still have 100.
No, I know a person who only has 2 digital games because everything else is eaten by updates.
Huh?
That's true though.
What kind of?
That's true though.
How much?
I have every single game on my 50 gigs at least. Like Destiny's 50, Dragon Age is for some reason 70. I don't know why.
Wow,
Witcher is 43. What else games do I have?
And I think GTA installs most of itself, even if it's on disc.
It just dumps
something crazy like that.
It exits the everything that's in the CD.
Yeah, it installs 80% of the game or something crazy like that.
That's so weird. But there, 1 terabyte's definitely happen. But yeah, that's it. That's it for the Sony press conference. Very impressive, but not the best lineup still. That's my thoughts. And we're done.
We're done. We'll see you guys next time for Square Enix and Nintendo.
Yeah, Nintendo, Squeenix, and are we gonna do PC games?
And PC gaming, yeah.
Oh, we're gonna do PC
press
gaming.
Conference was long, 2 hours, 30 minutes.
We have an audio podcast per press conference because like we said, there's a lot happening on E3. It's hard
E3 special.
It's so hard to cover everything, so we're doing it one by one, so we won't miss a single one. If you haven't, Microsoft's already up. I think you never know. Maybe everything is up. But every single press conference has a single audio podcast exclusive for that presentation. So do check it out. Thanks for listening in. We will see you guys in the next video. Our next audio.
Bye. E3.